Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios, brought to you by our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Moses Missing, available on Amazon, paperback and ebook. Coming soon, Missing 2, double the suspense, double the fun. Check it out on Amazon. Also brought to you by Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner, based on the life of David Kling, 30s Quiz of Pains, and King David Psalms. The Sweet Psalmist is available Amazon.com, keyword Sweet Psalmist Serena Wagner, and check out the Mike Wagner Show, the MikeWagnerShow.com, 40 podcast platforms, heard in over 100 countries, and also on Spotify, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, YouTube as well. Well, here's an amazing gentleman who is began in late 2018 is soul and folk band from Milwaukee with songwriter. They erupt their turn to Milwaukee. Basically, bandless, a few hours of songs and also years worth of gigs already booked and first formed on Craigslist and nominated New Artist of the Year by the Whammies or WAMI, won the Milwaukee Awards, and Folk Band of the Year by Shepherd's Express, and also having over 1,000 followers on all over Facebook, Spotify, Instagram, YouTube, and more. And they're part of Spectra Music. And the album is called Young and Naive. We'll be playing two of their songs at the end of the audio interview. Live, ladies and gentlemen, plus twos in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. The amazing singer songwriter with the band The Midnight Purchase began in late 18, soul, folk, and more. The multi-talented Orlando Pena from The Midnight Purchase. Orlando, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Well, it's great to have more, Orlando. So you're a singer-songwriter out of Milwaukee. You began in 2018. You made a rough return to Milwaukee. You guys were bandless for with a few hours of songs, years worth of gigs already booked, and first formed on Craigslist. You guys were nominated New Artist of the Year and also won the Folk Band of the Year by Shepherd's Express. And you guys have over 1,000, 2,000 followers on all over Facebook, Spotify, Instagram, YouTube. And we talking about Young and Naive featuring Too Proud, Good Days, and more as well, too, through Spectrum Music. And before getting all Orlando, tell us how it first got started.
The music. So the Midnight Purchase got started in 2018. I was actually born in Illinois. I know we were talking off camera about being in Illinois. I'm originally from there, and for a while I was in Milwaukee, and I had just bought my first guitar when I was like 21. So this is maybe 2012.
Okay.
Um, I was playing drums my whole life before that, but I just wanted to take a hand at songwriting. And my uncle was running a goat farm out in Western Illinois, and he needed some help. So he said, "Yeah, if you come, we'll give you room and board. You don't got to pay rent. Just help out on the farm. You can do whatever you want, write your songs." So I thought it was a good way to get away from Milwaukee being such a fun city with so many good distractions. Uh, I'm 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 easily distracted, and so I really just wanted to separate myself from any kind of temptations and just focus on writing and see if I could come up with anything. And so from there, I started playing in Chicago, was playing Navy Pier, the House of Blues, a bunch of the local bars. And it kind of, I would come back and visit friends in Milwaukee, and the city just seemed to be getting better and better every year. And there was more opportunities to play, more venues, more beer gardens that all wanted music. So yeah, I kind of just made the quick, swift decision to move back to Milwaukee, and I had shows booked. You book months ahead, so I had shows booked and all these songs, and I just didn't have a band here, so I went to Craigslist and found some guys, and that was the first version of the band. And since then, I've turned it over entirely. But yeah, that's kind of how it started.
Mhm. And that's certainly amazing. Thank God for Craigslist, although it's not being used much. And I mean, it's a lifesaver. Got to say that on some things. And what was that one exact precise moment that simply influenced you and what you do in the rest of your career?
Um, like what influenced me, I think really early on. I've always really liked music. There was no one in my family that was like a musician or anything like that, or but I don't know, just the way it made me feel. You kind of like listening to a song, it can kind of just transport you to a whole different world. You just sort of forget what reality you're in. And I just always thought that was really powerful, and I just wanted to try to be able to do that myself.
Hmm. And who are some of your favorite singers, songwriters, and musicians growing up?
Oh, growing up, it's changed so much. I was raised by a single mother who listened to like 90s R&B and hip hop. So she raised me on like Boys to Men, Tupac, all the great divas, Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey. It was later on that I found like folk and country music on my own. And from there, Paul Simon is still one of my favorites. I love
Oh,
Nathaniel.
still one of my favorites. Graceland is a masterpiece.
Yeah, he's
It's a
incredible.
masterpiece.
Nathaniel Rateliff is, I think, a huge influence as far as our sound, or kind of like how my voice developed. Which I found out one of his influences is Van Morrison. So I think through proxy, I kind of got some of that too. But just so many great artists, you know?
And certainly as well too. And of course, you've got some great work yourself with Young and Naive, featuring a couple of songs we play at the end of the audio interview through Spectra Music. We'll get that with Orlando Pena, the Midnight Purchase. But first, you listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800 303 3960. That's 1-800 303 3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, time to give an official shout out to our official sponsor, the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon, paperback, and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. It takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those who love be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews. An Evil Evan endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassie, Forrest Riley, and Benny Ellis. So grab your copy today. Furgo's Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Coming soon, Missing 2, Double Expense, Double of Fun. Check it out on Amazon. Also brought to you by a Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner, based on the life of David, including 30 exquisite paintings and Kate's David Psalms. The Sweet Psalmist gives a new perspective on the life of David, his time as a shepherd growing up, and his complicated, turbulent relationship with King Saul, including Psalms he wrote, the story of love, betrayal, repentance, hope, and more. Check out the Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner on Amazon. Keyword Sweet Psalmist Serena Wagner. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show, themikewagnershow.com. 40 podcast platforms, heard in 100 countries. Take us with you on any mobile device and follow us on all socials: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, and more. And for great merchandise, Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast, t-shirts, pop sockets, throw pills, tote bags, and more. Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. Great books, merchandise, and more. And support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, the MikeWagnerShow.com, and 50 podcast platforms, including Spotify, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, YouTube, BitChute, Rumble, and more. We're here with the amazing Orlando Pena of the Midnight Purchase from Spectra Music here on the Mike Wagner Show. And before we get to your latest, Young and Naive, you guys were nominated for New Artist of the Year and also won the Folk Band of the Year. And tell us more about those.
Yeah, that was pretty exciting. It was again, I came back here in 2018, put the band together on Craigslist. We're kind of writing in the basement for a few months. And so it was like 2019 is when we put out our first EP. And it was just a live session. We just went to the studio for 5 hours, recorded all analog to tape. And just that's kind of what we put out. And so we were super surprised. Nobody knew who we were. We were a new name, you know, like pretty irrelevant. We weren't even sure people were listening. So to get the nomination for New Artist of the Year was really exciting. Just to know that people were paying attention.
Mhm.
We lost out obviously to another really, really solid local band here, the Millbillies. They're still doing phenomenal. But then we did win Folk Band of the Year by the Shepherd Express, which meant a lot to us. We keep getting nominated for that every year too, so it's nice that they're still keeping tabs on us, I guess, or
Mhm.
that people are listening, you know?
Mhm. And that's a really great thing. And I forgot to ask you, how'd you come up with the Midnight Purchase?
Yeah, a lot of people think it's pretty dubious, but it's really not. I can't really sleep through the night most of the time, you know. I'll kind of wake up here and there, and rather than like get out of bed and fully wake up again, I just like reach for my phone and start scrolling until I fall asleep again. Sometimes I will, while I'm half awake, just start buying random things online, like really, really dumb things that I think in the moment I need. So, like one time I bought like a family pack of chopsticks. It's like 100 some chopsticks. Yeah, I don't know why. I bought a pen that turns into a fishing pole one time. I don't. That didn't work very long. Just really foolish things. And so we were looking for a band name at at this certain moment, and I had woken up one morning and I had an email confirmation for a purchase, and so I was like, ah, come on, like another midnight purchase. And then, we were looking for names at the time, and that just kind of stuck in my head, and shared it with the guys, and everybody liked it. So there
And
it
that
is.
was a definite midnight purchase. That was well worth it. Got to say that. That was so well
Absolutely.
worth it, and doesn't have to be at midnight either, which is great. So right, and you talked about having a live session as well, and you did the EP. If this is right, you did the national sessions, including Santa Fe, Intentions, Drying Out, and tell us more about those.
Yeah, so a lot of those songs were songs that came from kind of my last few months or last year on that goat farm in Illinois. Um, a lot of those songs, I mean, you're kind of left to your own devices out there. I didn't have many, I guess, friendships out there. There just weren't many people.
Hmm.
So you're kind of really left to your own devices, and that can be really fun. For a while, it was really fun for me. But after a while, like anything, it just kind of got boring. I needed some more stimulation. I'm the type of person that when I'm bored, I will maybe go and look for trouble or things of that nature. And so I just wasn't being the best to myself and my health the last year that I was down there, which is part of why I sort of made the move to come back and sort of jumpstart my life again. So a lot of those songs have to do with kind of that, just coming to terms with things, sort of shedding a weight, I guess, and just sort of starting over.
Hmm. And plus, this also leads up to Young and Naive as well, too, from Spectra Music. You had we'll be talking about the two songs, but we also cover the Hard Way, Santa Fe, and Looking Ahead. And tell us about those and what inspired you to write them.
Yeah, so the hard way is just it's just something I've said to family and friends forever. They if they know me well enough, they know I can be a pretty hard-headed or stubborn person. And people might be good intentioned in your life by trying to warn you about something so that you avoid, this mistake that maybe they made in the past. But I'm the type of person that just has to go and experience it myself. Uh, you know, Whether you were right or wrong, I just have to feel it out for myself. So that's kind of what the hard way is saying. It's been a lifetime of lessons learned the hard way is what it's
Right,
just
that's
kind
understandable. Sometimes you gotta learn that way too, and never always by the book.
yeah, exactly. For me, it's got to be hands-on. It's got to be through my own experience to really believe something.
Right,
But
exactly. Plus, you had Santa Fe and Looking Ahead as well.
yeah, so Santa Fe is an entirely fictional story I made up. I think I was just going through like a little bit of a breakup there, and so I found it as a good coping mechanism to write out this fictional story about this woman who leaves a relationship behind to go pursue a career,
Uh
and
huh.
it ends up going terribly for her.
Oh
And
my
so
gosh.
so it's just kind of like a little petty way of dealing with a breakup.
Right. Yes. Yes. Uh huh. Oh my
And
gosh. Yes.
and Looking Ahead is actually maybe one of my favorite songs on the new album.
Uh huh.
Uh, that was something that came about during quarantine. So I mentioned
Okay.
I put the first version of the band together in 2018 off Craigslist, and we started playing a bunch of shows. Things kind of started happening really quick. And a lot of the guys in the band maybe didn't have the same goals with it. They were kind of joining just to jam with some guys and have fun. They weren't intending to take it serious and spend more time with it. And so we started running into problems with people just wanting different things and a lot of infighting with the group and so during quarantine I just decided to disintegrate that group entirely. I had met a lot of musicians around town and playing over those couple of years. And so I
Mm-hmm.
had a lot of guys that were offering to come play with and I wanted to kind of get away from like the fiddle and like the really rootsy sound and get an electric in there and try to expand a little bit on the sound and so Looking Ahead is kind of about the conversations that were happening behind people's backs in the band, sort of things like that that transpired to sort of kind of motivate me to, just start it over again.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And plus, you also had we did talk about let's see what do we have? We had Looking Ahead. Also asking around and chasing straights. I think I got that right. Tell us more about those.
Sure. So Chasing Straits is I was on a goat farm in Illinois. This is a song I kind of wrote to myself. It's just sort of about gambling. It's about gambling, but more so with like your life choices. Choosing to pursue music instead of finishing college and things like that. Kind of hoping for that bigger payout someday. And just the world telling you you're crazy for taking that bet or something like that, but you know in your gut that it's the kind of the right call, following your instincts. And so
Right,
it's sort of
exactly.
it's sort of about that.
And plus asking around, don't forget that.
Yeah, asking around, it's just another fictional love song. Well, it's not a love song, it's a breakup song, and it's just sort of about like having this feeling, that somebody's just being unfaithful. You have this feeling in your stomach, and everyone around you is telling you, "Oh, you're crazy, don't believe it. It can't be, it can't be." But then, sure enough, you eventually find out that what your worst fears were are indeed true.
Hmm.
And so, yeah.
Exactly it too. And plus, you also got two songs we'll be talking about as well. And what are they? We'll find out in 1 minute with Orlando Pena of the Midnight Purchase from Spectra Music. You listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by SonicWeb Studios, brought to you by our official sponsor, the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mia Molson's Missing. The Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner, based on the life of David, including 30 exquisite paintings, King David Psalms, Amazon.com, keyword Sweet Psalmist Serena Wagner. We'll be back with multi-talent Orlando Pena of the Midnight Purchase after this timeout. We're back with author Orlando Pena of the Midnight Purchase here on the Mike Wagner Show from Spectre Music. And the two songs will be playing from the Young Naive release. We'll be playing Too Proud and Good Days. And tell us about those and what inspired to write them.
Yeah. So Too Proud was um, kind of about I was doing full-time music for a few years, and after a while it was just kind of, I think, with me personally, if I do anything and only that thing for too long, I get tired of it and I start to kind of
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
maybe start resenting it a little bit. And music had always been this great escape for me in my life, so I was really not happy that it was starting to feel that way. And so Too Proud is kind of just asking yourself, like, why am I doing this? What is this pursuit for? What is this all about? Does it even mean the same thing to me anymore? Just sort of what is your motivation and purpose for doing this thing? So like that first line talks about, playing to some empty bar, it's like, why am I here? You're playing to people's backs while they're watching a baseball game. And, it's like,
Or, or
uh,
or or chatting on their phones. I know how that goes.
yeah, it can be tough. There's a lot of gigs like that throughout a career where it's like, you wonder, you question it all, but then you kind of realize, well, I'm doing this for myself. I'm doing this because it feels so good, and that should just be enough. Maybe stop asking for things to come from it and just do it because it feels good. It's
Right. And
kind of
of course, you never know too. And in fact, you talk about having just a few people playing. I remember, hearing a story about the police and playing on a New Year's Day concert was a blizzard. And I guess there was like maybe just 10 people showed up, and one was from A&M Records and they signed it right away. You never know who's listening or watching. It's like they could come out and say all those four people. It's like, hey, you're good. I'll give you this, sign this. Congratulations. You never know.
no, it's very true. I tell myself that all the time. You never know. And you just
Exactly.
make sure you play your best no matter who's there.
You got it. That's right. And plus, let's talk about the good days. Tell us about more about it and what inspired you to write it.
Yeah, Good Days is another song that came from quarantine. That was sort of after I had moved back and was just sort of in a rut. And I don't know, I like, for better or worse, I like to wallow sometimes if I'm feeling down. I like to sit in that feeling for a bit. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
songwriters do in general. But so I was just kind of in that headspace for a while, and I just got tired of it. It's like, well, you can just sit here and cry, or you can get up and make a change, do something about it. And so that's what Good Days is about, is, trying to will those good days yourself, not just sit around and wait for them.
And that's a really good point as well, too. Have a good day either way. And if there's other music we haven't covered, feel free to talk about that.
Yeah, let's see what else. So we have Cage Bird is the one slow acoustic song on the album, actually. I think that's the only one we haven't talked about. That's
Oh,
actually one
that's
of
right. Yeah, now I'm looking at my notes. We forgot that one.
actually one of my favorite songs I've ever written, just lyrically. And with the band too. A lot of the guys in the band all come from like metal backgrounds, myself included, actually. So it's interesting getting them to play these folk songs when a lot of times they want to get louder or faster. And so Cage Bird was really difficult because it's a slow build. And it took a lot of, I guess, discipline from everyone to sort of bring it to the point that it was ready to record. But that song is just sort of chronologizing my life since high school and just looking back at like what I've done, where I've been, and just, I don't know, I guess being okay with it, you know, you can always feel like maybe you haven't done enough or you missed something along the way, but it's just sort of just being okay with where you are.
And
And
that's
yeah.
exactly, and that's a great point as well too. In the meantime, where can we find all your music at, and how do people get a hold of you?
Yeah, our music's on Spotify, iTunes, Deezer, Tidal, all the wherever you stream your music. I believe you can ask Siri, ask Alexa, just ask her for the Midnight Purchase. You can go to our website, themidnightpurchase.com. You can also go to Apple Music to or iTunes to purchase the full album. I believe there's some links around the Spectra music website as well. But yeah, all over.
All right, well, certainly check that out. We're at the amazing multi-talent Orlando Pena of the Midnight Purchase here on the Mike Wagner Show. From Young and Naive, we'll be playing Two Proud Good Days at the end of the audio interview. We want everybody to check that out. And just a few more things. What else can we expect from you and the rest of the band in 2025 and beyond?
Yeah, so for this year, we are currently just gearing up for a busy summer. We had talked about Summerfest earlier. We've got two dates so far this year. We're waiting on a potential third date for Summerfest. Otherwise, we'll just be kind of all around like tri-state area. We're already have a second album kind of in the works. We want to try to get into the studio before the end of the year. It's actually going to be, well, I don't know if I should give any surprises about it. Uh, we have a lot of new music that we're sitting on, and so we're excited to start getting that down.
It sounds great. We're certainly checking out, and we definitely cannot wait. It's well worth the surprise. And who we consider biggest influence in your career?
Biggest influence in my career. Oh, I really admire Jackson Brown. Just not just for his like artistry but just the way he navigated such a tough industry uh as like such a professional and just with such grace. I really admire that.
That's certainly amazing as well. One of my favorites. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Um Follow your gut. It's worked for me. Don't let anybody talk you into doing something. Just follow your gut. You're probably right.
And that's very true indeed. Very true indeed. We're amazing Orlando Pena of the Midnight Purchase from Spectra Music on the Mike Wagner Show. Orlando, very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Learned a lot. Looking forward to having you soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Love have you back. What's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or check out your music?
Yeah, so our handles on social media, you can follow me personally at Orlando Pena Music on Facebook and Instagram. The band's handle is The Midnight Purchase. You can go to our websites, themidnightpurchase.com, orlandopena.com. We've got shows, we've got links to merch, all kinds of stuff there. Always news, updates. Yeah.
Sounds great. We'll check that out. Once again, Orlando, very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Laugh at me back. We wish you all best in Orlando. You definitely have a great future ahead of you.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.